They are asking us to multiply this expression times this expression, and you'll notice that there are two terms here times another two terms. So anytime you have a 2 by 2, you are going to FOIL it out. All right, now a couple of things to keep in mind as you are FOILing. Anytime you do this, we want to put the radical at the end, and that is because we don't want there to be any question mark about is this part of the radical or isn't this part of the radical. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to do in this process. So the first two multiplied together, yes, it is 4 square root of x times 8 square root of x. But what I'm going to do when I do this multiplication is I'm going to rearrange this so that all of my radical pieces, factors, are at the end. Okay, so that's what I'm going to write. And then once I have that, hopefully, you say, okay, 4 times 8 is 32, and then I have the square root of x, which I'll deal with when I'm ready to. All right, now my outer term, I have a positive times a negative, so that gives us negative. And yes, it is 4 square root of x times 8, but I am going to put the radical at the end. So this will become 4 times 8 square root of x, which will give us negative 32 square root of x. Okay, so always just rewrite it so the radical is at the end of that. All right, the inner term will be a plus 3 times 8 square root of x, and there the radical is at the end, so we're good to go with that. So we'll just multiply the 3 times 8 to get 24 square root of x. All right, now the last two, we have a 3 times negative 8, so that gives us negative 24, and there isn't any simplification to really do from that. So that's just the 3 times 8 to get negative 24. All right, so now once we have the multiplication done, we have to combine any like terms that we have. So the first thing that I want you to notice is that the square root of x times the square root of x, if I put that together under one radical, that would become the square root of x squared. And we know that if the index and the power are the same, they are going to cancel each other out. So if I put this split up radical together, put it together, I get that it's x squared, and that will just give us x because the index and power cancel. Another way of thinking about this is you have two copies, so that's going to be one copy of x outside of the radical. And then we have our 32. Then we have minus 32 square root of x plus 24 square root of x minus 24. Now, if you look at this, you see that you do have a like radical of the square root of x. So we are going to take and add their coefficients. So we'll have negative 32 plus the 24 to get negative 8. And we're combining like terms, so this is still going to be the square root of x. And then we have our 32x and our minus 24. And that would be our final answer.